Hi, Rex Walter for the Rex Reports. During this pandemic, this COVID-19 crisis with self-isolation and physical distancing, I thought it might be interesting for Rex Report viewers to learn about some of the books that I've read recently in case you want to pick them up and read them for yourself. Okay, the first one that I've read recently is The Last Canadian. It's kind of prescient. William C. Hine wrote this book in the 70s. It's about a virus. I kid you not, it's about a virus that basically, it's considerably more lethal than COVID-19 because it wipes out, pretty much all of North America and South America. Anyways, it's with a few survivors, but it's certainly an exciting read and one I highly recommended. As I said, I may have said I read it in the 70s and I just picked it up the other day, given the situation we're in, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Second book I want to recommend is one that's easily found. I'm sure Stephen King's The Dead Zone. I'm a reasonable fan of Stephen King, and I certainly like this book. I love the movie with Christopher Walken, so might want to also occupy your time by watching that. And if Greg Stilson isn't Donald Trump, then I don't know who is. So if you read it, watch for that character. Third book I want to recommend to you is a book of short stories. If you like short stories, this one's Trouble by my brother. Got to give a plug in for him. He did an outstanding job writing these. Kudos to him. And when this book was first published, the National Post book review section gave it 2 or 3 thumbs up. So I highly recommend this. The other thing is, if you want to get your hands on this, my brother does offer free delivery, and I'm sure Sellers and Newell has a supply. So there you go. There's something that could probably easily be put into your library. Free delivery in Toronto, that is. And then the next book is People Who Eat Darkness. Strange title. This is a true story about a girl named Lucy Blackman who left England, went to Japan, worked in Tokyo, disappeared. Her family didn't hear from her for a long time. They went over to Japan to try and find her, do some investigating, and the police were not particularly helpful. In any event, unfortunately, her body was found a number of months later. She'd been murdered. But one of the reasons we're interested in this book, we have this book, is because one of the minor characters in this book is a fellow that we met, Hetty and I met, in a pub in Paddington in 2013. Now, there's a whole other story I'd love to regale you with on a Rex Report about that whole encounter, and if I get permission from some of the people involved in the story, I will certainly bring that to you. And when I do, you'll know about it because it's quite fascinating. Anyways, interesting book, true story, and recommend it to you. Maybe a little more difficult to get your hands on something like that. And then the last book that I'm going to draw to your attention is Almonte's Brothers of the Wind by Frank Cosentino. Frank Cosentino, great Canadian football player, played in the CFL. As a matter of fact, I believe he is related to Jerome. So there you go. Anyways, this is interesting because these two gentlemen, James Naismith, obviously the person who invented basketball, and Tate McKenzie. Tate McKenzie was an incredible sculptor and also a university administrator. He gave Jim a good name. If you wanted to participate in that, if you got a degree in PhD in phys ed, Jim, Tate gave that some legitimacy. Anyways, these two guys grew up together, were friends in Almonte, Ontario, in the Ottawa Valley. Who knew that two such internationally renowned men could come out of that small town at around the same time? Good day, good day. So that's what I've got for you. The last thing I'm going to say is I've got a Rex Report coming up, which I think is kind of interesting. Hopefully you will too, and it'll be out in the next week or so. So watch for that. Okay, Rex Walter for the Rex Reports. Over and out for now.